good.
Matthew, what did do change after that start to get the game going to your terms?
Good question. We changed a number of things, but the boys really did it on the ground. Talking to Sloaney post-game, we'd done a hell of a lot of work on our fitness over the break. I think we've publicly talked about what our young group were able to do throughout the break, that they were working hard, and I think today you saw a little bit of that. We're able to finish quarters off really strongly. Every quarter we finished strong. When you're playing a game like that and the game is decided by one or two kicks and you're able to finish strongly the way we did, there's no doubt our home crowd played a part of that. But thank goodness we were playing at home. It gives us an edge. Our members and supporters were massive tonight. It was massive in the game. We were able to grind it out against a really good side that tested us. 0-6 stoppage to start. Sloaney got the group together, I think, at 0-2, and they went to work, but it takes some time to come back against good sides. So proud of the way they fought it out each quarter. And then, when you come down to the last quarter and we just need to be in front at the right time, well, that's where the crowd comes in, and as I said, they were massive. So,
did you like that second term, the way you could hold up Gold Coast? They couldn't get the long kicks into their forward 50 because you were holding them up at the back?
Yeah, we did a fair bit of work on their game, on the way they might go about it and try and play against us. It looked like they tried to own the ball a fair bit on us tonight. I thought, though, we got our shape right. I think we challenged our players. We changed a number of things during the game at times, and our guys really adjusted well, and got the shape we were after. And it was different all night. We tweaked a number of things. So for a group that's trying to connect, I thought tonight we had great connection. And in the end, it may have won us the game towards the end. Where we needed a certain structure knowing they'd come at us in that last 3 or 4 minutes, and we got it instantly. So, for a young back line to get that right, and they had some great support around them. Seedsman tonight was very good. Sloaney, I thought, that was one of the best captain's games I've seen. He was everywhere. I think he had 20 contested possessions, 11 clearances, and 35 or thereabouts. So you need your leaders to stand up, and then Tex is in some reasonable form, so that helps.
So were you hiding that fountain of youth that Walker's drinking in to play that sort of footy?
No, there's no fountain of youth. I've said it, I think, for 3 weeks now. He's no younger. He's no younger or fitter than what he was last year. He's in some very, very good form. We can't hide from that. He's in some great form. He's in great form because of the way the team's playing around him, and it's a credit to him. And I'm really enjoying, loving the way he's going about it, the way he's playing his footy. He's getting the reward he deserves. Tonight he played probably. He had a number of contests he was in where you just sometimes sit back and clap your hands and say, well, that was just genuine individual brilliance. But let's hope he keeps that form up.
How long do you think he can keep the form up? Given that he is 30, that he did have some issues last year with his body, does he need to have a rest at some point to make sure he doesn't peter off?
Yeah, I think every player has to look at the season and how it's going for him. And we say he's 30 like that's old. It's not old. There are players that play past 30. He's a key position player. He's not a midfielder that is bash and crash inside. It will come down to how the team's playing, whether we need to manage Tex at a point, because we'll be asking him to do things that, if we're not playing well, that they're not his weapons, and that'll be competing in packs and having to crash packs constantly. So I hope we keep our form where it is. I'm confident we will, because we're an enthusiastic group and we're loving where we're at the moment. We like the way we're playing our footy. Tex mentioned something in the rooms about it's just the cream on top. The boys are doing the hard work, seeking the contest, surging the ball, getting it forward as much as we can, and Tex is finishing things off at the moment. He really wrapped his teammates up tonight, and couldn't be more pleased with how they're going.
Riley, Phil Thorpe kicked his first goal on the Samful today. Can him and Tex inhabit the same forward line and maybe down the road when he's ready?
Yeah, we hope so. I mean, that when you start to look at the longer term, and Riley's developing his game at the moment, playing a number of different roles for us back at the SANFL level. I mean, he's played a little bit up around the footy as well, and we like to free him up a bit. He's got endurance, which means he can run and he can get around the ground. So that's a bonus for us. What you find with those key position players, it takes a little longer for them to develop the core strength and the body strength to compete ahead of the ball. But yeah, I'd love to see those guys play alongside each other at some point.
Between the end of the pre-season and round one is vastly different to what we saw in those two games against Port Adelaide. So what clicked to make this happen to be at 2-1?
A number of conversations around our game plan, and they were tweaks on our game plan. So really just ramping up our aggression a little more, going at the game a bit more. We also trial a number of players through a pre-season period. So we played 26 in some of those games, and when you're spinning the wheels and you're rotating guys through those games, you lack that cohesion. You lack that 7 forwards playing together for 4 quarters of footy, and they understand how each other plays. And so with that comes challenges to get you. Well, I would say it's our defence. It's our aggression to play front and centre footy. The challenges come with that, and we saw that against Port Adelaide. And also credit where it's due. Port Adelaide are a very experienced side, and we're in they've shown now they're in some pretty rare form. So a perfect lead into a season for us. We said it when we were playing those pracky matches that we wouldn't want to play anyone else. That's what everyone's talking about at the moment. They're the benchmark, and we got a chance to play against that in the pre-season, measure ourselves against it, and then tweak our game. We did that really well and brought it into round one.
So how'd you dare them to be more aggressive or more enterprising with the way they moved the ball forward? Because it didn't show up that way in the pre-season.
Yeah, and it comes back to how we move the ball. That's not what we tweaked. So we tweaked other parts of our game, which means we're not moving the ball from the point post in our back 50. That's our challenge, is to get the game played on our terms, own the game when we can. We didn't do that through the pre-season for a number of reasons. It's not our ball movement that is the issue. It's not many teams move the ball from their point post in their D50. We had to do that.
You were hesitant in the pre-season to move it in any direction at any point, so something has changed dramatically. Yeah, and probably that's a little bit of the opposition running us around and challenging us with the footy. I mean, we look back on some of those games, which we've moved on from now, but we were chasing a fair bit, and by the time you get the football back, it's pretty hard to then go again and continue to do that. And that's what good sides do. They own the game. Port did that on us. They taught us a fair bit. Good luck to them. We're glad we played them, and then we'll continue to try and work on our game and play the way we have the last few weeks.
You've got 3 pretty winnable games in the nets on paper at least. I mean, how important is it for the young side to have some momentum going, to get this momentum, keep the momentum going?
Oh, it's really important. It's not all about win-loss. It's the way we play our footy is what keeps the momentum going, and it's the belief that the boys have in each other. It's the belief that our members and our supporters have in our group and in the footy club, that they can see the direction we're heading. That's what we're after, because the performance has come off the back of that belief. We have that at the moment, and we've got to stick to that. We've got to stay in the space we're in. We've got a number of values that we live by and that we play to. And I feel, the boys should be proud of what they're doing at the moment, because they're walking off after games, forget the result, the heads are held high. They can look up in the stand and thank the members for being there, thank our supporters for coming out and watching. Last week we didn't quite get the job done, but their heads were still held high. And again, we come with belief off of round 2 into round 3, and we're able to get the job done this week.
You have a slow start, smashed in the stoppages, turn that around and continually challenged tonight. Are you seeing more and more you like about this side in a lot of ways, as character building and what you're trying to achieve? Yeah, spot on. Well, to be challenged and respond is it's another step for us. To be in front in games and front run and then everyone get on board and perform, that's great.
and that can also build momentum. But for a young group to be challenged like we were tonight, and it was 4 times, we got to the 8-minute mark of most quarters, and the screen was lighting up red. But we were able to sort of get the arm wrestle back on our terms, and I think we kicked 8 goals plus, in red time across the game. So, we know we're fit. We know we can run games out. That again, we come back to belief. Really proud of what they did, and as a coach, I think it's a great sign. It's adding another string to our bow. It's putting us in a position now that we can be behind. It doesn't mean we can't come back and win games.
What did you say to Riley O'Brien at 3/4 time?
Did it look aggressive?
Ooh.
No, well, I guess we were fortunate that a ruckman for the opposition went down, and you don't like to see that, but I said, all right, the opportunity's there for you to now take this game. And it's, you hate seeing injuries, and that obviously had an effect on the game. We're able to get our ruck with a little bit more dominance for that, first look at the ball around stoppages. So that's all I said to him. Might be your quarter for us.
Did you feel like he was maybe living up to your expectations in the first 3 quarters before that? Or, how have you rated his season so far?
Yeah, hasn't quite been at the level he was last year, but he was at a very, very high level last year. So he's playing a really important role for us, Rob. He's grinding away. He hasn't found the form quite yet, as far as aerial where he was last year. He was marking a lot of footy last year. I thought in the last quarter tonight you saw a little bit of what we saw last year, and I'm hoping he can take some confidence out of that, because he's so important to us, so important. So for him to finish off the way he did after, it wasn't, I didn't challenge him. I probably gave him a little bit of a pep up and said, enjoy it, go out and enjoy the last quarter, and he was great. So good sign.
Injury free?
Yeah, we had some sore boys towards the end, but at this point I haven't seen the doc yet, but we didn't need to activate a medical sub, and most guys sort of ran the game out.
Matthew, as early as it is in the season, is it harder now to protect a lead by just sitting back?
Yeah, I think it is. I think if you go into that mode of sitting back behind the footy, you can find yourself pinned in your back half a fair bit. We were really mindful of that towards the end, that we didn't go there too early. Pretty sure they were the same. And, we were waiting to see who was in front with maybe 4 or 5 minutes to go. And that's a long time to hang on nowadays. Teams are a lot more aggressive at coming at the game and trying to pin you back there. And it's sort of what we looked like last year for parts of the game. It's hard to play footy from back there. So.
You mentioned the crowd before. They definitely showed their frustration with some holding the ball calls or some non-calls. Is there clarity from a coach's perspective around what constitutes a free kick at the moment in that regard?
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.